Well, welcome to the Stone Roadie podcast. It's the one you don't want to miss. It stars Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie, and Griff, the rocket scientist. Let's not forget Kathy Godsey and all the old friends that come along. Lord, we'll be talking Skynyrd and leaving you with a song.
Podcast 73, Action. Well, hello and welcome to the 73rd edition of the Stoned Roadie Show. All the ski information y'all want to know is here on the Stoned Roadie Show. And I'm your host, the most famous roadie ever, the Stoned Roadie, Craig Reed, and this is my co-host, Mr. Griff Martin. And we're going to do a continuation of a couple last week of Griff's little on the road with Griff Martin trip to Muscle Shoals, and then he ended up out there in Macomb, Mississippi, where the plane crash happened and where the memorial site is. Why don't you tell us all about that, Griff?
Yeah, well, I was out there in Muscle Shoals, and I got a call from a friend and said, "Hey, you know, you're you're not that far away from the monument. You ought to go out there, and then we'll take you out to the crash site." And I thought it was like about an hour away or something, you know. And then I looked at it on the GPS, and I'd already said, yeah, I'll do that. And then it kind of find out it was like 5 hours out of the way, but it was a great trip. Really enjoyed going out there, and I got to hang out with Dwayne Easley. I didn't get to do a lot of talking to Dwayne. I mean, he was on the podcast. So when I went out there, in the past, I haven't talked much to Dwayne. So when I went out there, got to hang out with him. What a cool guy Dwayne is, you know. Country boy just like me, and then Latrell, the guy who was driving the side by side, it took us out to the crash site. It was quite a long trip out there. You had to go through the woods and go through some gates and down some trails, and you can only go so far, and then you have to get off and walk. And of course, the video that's coming up after Craig and I finish with our jibber jabber shows everything that we did. And yeah, what a really cool visit with those guys. And then I was at the monument and hung out with some people there. Lola, Dwayne's wife, a really nice lady, and they sit there under the tent, you know, and they sell some things to some of the people that come up there, like, you know, they sell posters and shirts and stuff like that. And there's, believe it or not, you know, it's back in the woods in the pine forest, and it's really a lot of traffic coming up there to that monument. So there's a lot of people really interested in going to see it. And I videoed a little bit of the monument so you guys can see what it's like out there. And if you're ever out that way or you're passing through, I suggest you stop there. Really neat place, quiet. And I think I said in the video, you know, if you're going to have a plane crash, that'd be the place to have it, you know, for serenity reasons. But yeah, so we're going to show the video, and after this first part of the podcast, and you guys can see what it's like to get out there and what it's like at the crash site. So we're gonna do that for you. And then got a little shout out to Lori Lace, who's she's a DJ on Cat Country FM in Virginia Beach, 99.5 FM Cat Country, and she's going to be working with me to get us on the radio station there. So that's good news. So that's the reason I wanted to give her a little plug. We appreciate that, Lori. She's got a country music video out. She's a great country music singer, so she's got a nice little video out that I was watching. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's what we got going on here. You got anything new, Craig, you want to share?
Oh no, I just the same old thing for me. Every day I get a bunch of phone calls from different people, asking me all kind of different questions, just sometimes it seems like you heard of the president has a book of secrets, I feel like sometimes I'm supposed to be the person that holds the key to the Lynyrd Skynyrd book of secrets. It's kind of funny, but it's just amazing. Even people that talk to me, even they just say that it's just Lynyrd Skynyrd was a phenomenon. They just were a musical. Like somebody posted a post that some bands make music, some bands make history, and it seems the way to be the Lynyrd Skynyrd is. It's just they're just name just you hear it everywhere. It just seems to be ongoing, and everybody seems to be a fan of the Lynyrd Skynyrd, band. And while we're talking about that, everybody's a fan of the Lynyrd Skynyrd band. We want to get this thing going up for the forgotten survivors, and just get everybody out there just to become a subscriber to this podcast, even people that aren't going to watch it or anything, just subscribe to it. If you like Lynyrd Skynyrd music, just subscribe to this podcast, and that'll help our forgotten survivors that are up in their 70s now, and they're kind of needing some help. All the band and everybody, they're all gone. That's how old everybody's getting. And now all these people that worked for the band are just the same age as they are, but they just didn't misuse their bodies the way most of us didn't, anyways. The way the band did. But I'm still here and kicking. I don't know why. I got pretty good genetics, but I was right in there with them, But I cleaned up a little bit, quite a while ago. So, but yeah, that's about all I got to say. Just like and subscribe to the Stone Roadie show. And gosh, I go again and look at the comments and stuff, and there's all just kind of just positive comments and stuff, and people thanking me and Griff, and don't forget Kathy Godsey and the guests we have on too, but
Right.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and just go into this memorial segment of the Stoned Roadies show, we can go ahead and do that there, Griff.
Yeah, and if you guys have trouble finding the podcast, go to supportsurvivors.net. That's the website that I have up, and there's a button on there for the podcast. I update it every time we get a new podcast. I put a new podcast on there, and you guys just click on it, takes you right to it. And if you want to go back and binge watch, which would probably take you about a month, because I think this is
I have people that
Craig?
call me. That guy yesterday called me and told me that he watched one, and he's watched every one. And he's not the first person that told me they've gone back and watched every one. I haven't watched every one. My God, there's been 73 of those suckers, and some of them are 3 hours long, man. It's crazy. But the
first ones were, a little cheesy. I think we didn't really know what we were doing at all then. And we still don't know what we're doing, but we really didn't know what we were doing back then. But yeah, I think there's a lot of information in there that, I don't think you could read a book with that much information. I mean, all Craig's experiences and all the guests that we've had
guy's
on, better than
from Chagrin. Let me see what's his name. His name was first name was Roger. Yeah, Roger from Chagrin. Yeah, he wanted to know about the Chagrin, Ohio. He wanted to know about the convoy we got going on. He's up there near Cleveland. Matter of fact, Roger comes and plays golf at a couple of golf courses, Turkey Foot and Mayfair, a couple of golf courses that I play. And I told him I haven't been playing much because I got glaucoma, and when I hit the ball, when it goes out, sometimes I can't see the ball. So he said he would spot for me, let me know where the ball goes.
Is that the guy that called you that you said?
Yeah. Roger. He wants to get involved. He wanted to know how to get a hold of Brandon Miller to buy 3 of those tickets off of him for that guitar a raffle in October, and then he said he wanted to be a part of the convoy, and I think me and Automotive are gonna rent a Winnebago and go down there, and he was kind of wanting to know if he wanted to know if he could ride with us. He'd split the cost, That might be, it might be possible down the road. I'll let you know, Roger, but we haven't figured it out yet. But yeah, we're gonna meet somewhere up around Chippewa Lake. I think that's where the Interstate 71 goes south, and that's our first route. And we'll keep everybody informed about, where, if there's somewhere convenient you want to join up with us, let me know. And you can write to me at the stonedroadie.com, at the stoned roadie at gmail.com. There's another one down there in the corner, but I also have the stoned roadie at gmail.com, and that way I can keep all the whole things separate. But we're gonna do that convoy, and we'll have updates on that as we go along. That's in October, and so
we're going to be going down to Gillsburg, and you get to meet Craig down there, and hang out with the Stoned Roadie. Hey, Craig, also, I'd like to thank some people. Jim Folds is a great contributor. He and his wife to the podcast. I'll do stuff like I draw caricatures of the band, and I just recently drew a caricature of Alan Collins, and I'm gonna have some T-shirts, which we'll be putting on the website, and that kind of pays for On the Road with Griff Martin, so we can get our subscriptions up. And I sold him the original artwork for the last T-shirt that I did. It's Alan Collins on the back of the shirt, and it's got a little Freebird emblem on the front. And you guitar experts, when you see that, you'll know what that is. But thank you, Jim Foltz. He bought the original artwork, and thanks to everybody who buys my drawings. That money goes to me on the road on trips for the podcast. So thanks for that. So be looking for some stuff for sale on the page in the near future. And we got somebody working too on a 501c3. I don't think Mitch Scooby minds if we mention his name. He's helping us out. He's the bus driver who drove all those rock and roll stars around. So if you guys want to check him out on one of our past podcasts, do that. So that being said, anything else, Craig?
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention that everybody that calls me wants to know how they can, start helping out with donations and stuff and they want to send me money. And I said, no, I don't. I'm not getting involved in any donations or any fundraising or anything. My only involvement in this Forgotten Survivors thing will be subscriptions to the podcast. I'm not going to get involved in any donations or what they call that, GoFundMe or none of those things.
I'll take care of all that. You guys, you can.
But I guess there is a thing you have to look for it at the end of this podcast where it says thumbs up, thumbs down, and then there's another little doohickey, and then there's a little, I don't know, harder. I don't know what it is that you click on it, and then it's a thank you thing, and I guess you
can,
yeah. I didn't want to get involved in that, but I can't. I didn't activate or nothing, but people see it, and I guess they donate. I don't want people to, I don't really want people to donate. I really want to keep it to the subscribers, but some people just insist on donating. So back there, if you like the podcast, donate $5. I ain't got a problem with that, but I ain't got a problem with donating more, but I don't want to get involved in that.
The idea is to get our subscriptions up. That's the idea.
Yeah. I don't want this podcast to be run by donations. I'd really like for us to get a lot of subscribers and just work off that, make eBay pay it. But I'm done jibber jabbering. If you're done jibber jabbering, I'm done jibber jabbering, and we can just roll on Big O.
Yes, roll the tape.
Okay.
You want to click us out? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you're gonna put in the song "Happy Trails to You until we meet again. Happy trails till you token until then." And until next week, and after we see this here Griff Martin on the road, we'll see you next week on the STONED Roadie Show with Griff Martin and your host, the most famous world in the whole wide world, the STONED Roadie, Craig Reed. And we're going to call that podcast 73 with this edition of the Griff Martin on the road, and toodaloo and ta-ta and toodaloo. And here we go on the road with Griff Martin.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Okay, on the road with Griff Martin, and here I am now at the Lynyrd Skynyrd Monument, which is the crash site for Lynyrd Skynyrd. And as you can see, there's the sign, Lynyrd Skynyrd Monument. And just past the sign, you go up here and turn on Easley Road. For those of you that want to come see it, there's a good marker over by the main road on the interstate, and it's really easy to find because of the markers on the road. Really beautiful area out here, and hard to believe that it's just not that far away where the plane went down back in October 20th, 1977. And now that there's a monument up here, it's really a great thing that these people did, and it makes for a nice place to come and take a look at things, and be as close as you can to the site where the plane crashed. So we're going to get out here, take a look. Right there's the monument, and we'll take a look here. Okay, Griff Martin here on the road, the STONED Roadie Show. I just pulled up to the crash site here, Gillsburg, Mississippi. And I'm going to come over here and show you guys this monument. It's really a horrible thing that the plane crashed here, but what a beautiful place to have a plane crash, if you're going to have one. Yeah, just take a look around here. It's just awesome. You can see the pine forest back there, and that's the area behind the monument where the plane crashed. I was talking to Dwayne Easley, and he's the gentleman that owns the property, and he was the one that pulled a lot of the plane crash survivors and the people that didn't make it out of the plane. And people ask him, they say, where is it exactly? And some people even try to sneak back there. And he's so funny. He says, I just let them do it because there's no way you're going to get back there. It's just so thick in brush, and even if you tried, you wouldn't know where it is. So he's going to come up here, and him and Luttrell, and they're gonna take me back there so we can get prepped up for Craig's arrival in October to go back to the exact spot where the plane crashed, so Craig can see it. Pretty cool of them to do it. But right here's the monument, and I'm sure a lot of people have already seen video of it and maybe even been here. So this is what it looks like, carved granite. It's got some really great pictures of the band on here and a lot of information. Some really cool carvings go around here. You can see some script that was carved into the granite. It was a really great unveiling back 2019. I was here, and this is the second time I've been here. But if you guys haven't been here, it's something you need to put on your to-do list. When you come, there's usually somebody over here selling posters, t-shirts, and things like that, so you can make donations and just spend some time back here, you know, to reflect on some things. So if you get a chance, come out here, and I think you'd really enjoy it. So we'll be leaving pretty soon as those guys show up, and we'll make a trip back to the site. Okay, here I am, Griff Martin, and I have a very interesting lady here, and her name is Brenda Martin. And we're at the monument in Gillsburg, Mississippi, and I just happened to run into Brenda here while I was here. And now, Brenda is a very interesting lady because, as we know, the monument, the Lynyrd Skynyrd monument, there's some special things that happened out here. One of them was a plane crash, a Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash. Just so happens that when that plane crashed, there were 3 people: Artemis Pyle, Mark Howard, Mark Frank, Mark Frank, Artemis Pyle, and Ken Peden, and I should have known that. Yeah. I get my marks mixed up. Were actually able to walk away from the plane crash and go for help. And where did they go? They went to Brenda's house. Mm-hmm. And what happened, Brenda? Do you remember hearing the plane crash?
No, we did not. My ex-husband heard a crash, but he didn't know what it was. He thought it was a car wreck or something.
Right.
We didn't know it was a plane crash.
And what alerted you to the fact that there was something going on?
Well, he came in our little house trailer and he said there's escaped convicts out here. He had to get his rifle. And
the reason that wasn't there like a prison break at that time or something?
No, that's not the reason he thought that. The reason he thought that was because they were walking across our pasture and then up our driveway, and at the same time, a helicopter was flying around with a big light on it. So he thought, you know, they might have been escaped convicts. Well, they come up our driveway, he went out with his rifle, and he shot up in the air. And
your husband, that's your ex-husband now, and his name is what?
Johnny Moats.
Johnny Moats, and I knew that, but you know, I just wanted to get it from you. And so, what did he do when I heard that he was kind of like wondering what was going on? He sort of was driving around looking at these guys like, what are they doing here, right?
Well, see, first he was in that field right there. He was putting out hay bales, and they were trying to flag him down. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't stop, so then he came rushing down to our little house trailer and came in and got his rifle, went back outside, and then they were coming up our driveway. He went out there and he shot up in the air. They threw their hands up and they said a plane has crashed. Mm-hmm. Well, he did believe them. So he let Artemis came in our house trailer and used our telephone to call his family. Well, years later, Artemis starts telling this story. Mm-hmm. I survived the plane crash. and then the farmer shot me. That was a lie.
Okay.
And he's still telling that story.
And what kind of rifle was it?
A 243 rifle.
243 rifle. So I guess if that bullet hits you, you're gonna know it, huh?
You would be dead.
Well, that's what we do. We document facts, and we want to find out from the people that were there and what happened. So this is Brenda's story.
Well,
and,
you may want to talk to him and get his story.
Well, we try to do that, but not everybody's as gracious as you to talk to me like that, and we appreciate it.
Now, if you'll cut that off, I'll tell you my other story.
Okay, well, we'll keep going with this story, but this is a true story. I believe you. So what did you think when, all right, you were in the house, and right? Weren't you in the house? And what's the first thing that happened that you knew what was good? Did your husband come say, hey, these guys crashed in a plane, or what happened that the first thing that you knew that there was something going on that you knew?
Well, when Artimus came in there to call his family.
What did he look like? Was he bloody? Was he?
No,
did you see any
he was not
injuries on him?
No,
or?
I did not.
No?
No.
And what about the other guys?
They were out in our backyard.
Yeah.
Ken Keaton and Mark Frank.
And what did they look like? Were they in bad shape?
I can't remember. That's been
Right.
46 years ago. I don't remember what they looked like. But now, Mark Frank was out in my backyard burning my garbage can full of trash. He had set it on fire. Now, I'm assuming he did that to try to get attention from the helicopter.
Oh.
I don't know.
Wow, I never heard that.
But yeah.
See what you learn whenever you talk to the person that was there?
Yeah.
That's kind
But
of...
I mean, within just a few minutes, we had a ton of cars to start showing up.
Yeah, and...
A lot.
So what happened with those guys after they... who did Artimus call?
He called his family. I don't know who
Called
he
his family. You don't know who he called? And when the people started showing up, were they just like sitting there resting because they were traumatized from their injuries, or what happened, or were they like loaded up into an ambulance, or what happened to them after they came in the house and made the phone call?
Well, Artimus Powell got in my ex-husband's truck with him, and they went back down to the crash site.
Okay.
And then they didn't stay down there long, and then they came back up, and then neighbors started taking all of them to the hospitals.
And did you know who Lynyrd Skynyrd was at the time?
Nobody knew it was Lynyrd Skynyrd until late that night, because the three that even came to my house never said we're with Lynyrd Skynyrd. They never said that. So
in your mind, what the heck were you thinking when all this was going on? Were you saying, who are these people?
No, I did believe them when they said a plane had crashed.
Right.
But I didn't go down there because I was pregnant at the time, and I didn't want to get down there and the plane blow up. But
so when your husband realized that they were, on the plane and everything, were they like having a conversation and everything was okay, and he was like, okay, we're going to get you some help? Is that basically what happened?
Yeah.
And so how long do you think they were at your house, or do you remember? I know it was a long time ago.
No, they weren't in my house that long.
So
No.
Then did like your husband go and help with the plane crash survivors and stuff like that, or what happened next?
Yeah, he went down there, but I don't know who I was helping. Dwayne easily will tell you who was helping.
So when was it you found out that they were Lynyrd Skynyrd?
It was late that night.
Late that night?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was even on TV late that night.
And now a lot of years went by, and then you guys out here all got together and started putting together this monument. And so do you guys remember any of the first survivor that came out here and met with the people that put the monument up? Can you tell me anything about that? Like, who was it? Who was like the first plane crash survivors that came and met with the people that helped save them off the plane? Do you remember that?
No, I know we see Gene Odom a lot. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well, Brenda, you know, this is great that we got your story here, and we appreciate it, and thank you for telling it, and it's very helpful for, you know, history about what happened with the Lynyrd Skynyrd crash.
Don't put this on TV, and don't put it on Facebook.
Okay.
'Cause I don't want to be on it.
All right. Thank you, Brenda. Okay, Griff Martin on the road, and here we are with Dwayne Easley, and this is Latrell. And Latrell, what's your last name again?
Metter.
I'd butcher it if I tried to say it, you know what I mean?
That's good.
Latrell Metter and Dwayne Easley, of course. You know, Dwayne, he's somewhat of a movie star, you know. He's been interviewed by Rolling Stone and, you know, and all kinds of news people. But this is the gentleman here who was one of the first people, or maybe the first person on the plane, and he's been on the podcast before. Very graciously came on there, and Dwayne, he's a really nice guy to bring me out here. We're going to try we're going to attempt to go through this rugged brush and go find the crash site there, and in October we're going to try to get Craig out here. So that's what this is, kind of like a mock-up run for that. And these guys are helping me out today, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, Dwayne and Latrell, doing this. So this is the start of the excuse me, the start of the journey here. For people that don't know, that the plane crash is not too far from the monument. And the monument is a really great thing. We want to support it the best we can, and that's what this is all about. But if anybody is thinking that they could get to the crash site from the monument, you better watch out, because you might catch a bullet in your ass. So I wouldn't think about it. So this is the start, and we're going to go out here in this side by side right here, and so we're kind of prepping up for that, get ready to go. And we're going to start right here. Bullshit here. So we got, we're off. Latrell's driving. And we're in this side by side going through the woods. We're getting ready to find the entrance to this place. It's top secret. So I'm not going to video the entrance, even though it wouldn't help you if you tried to get through there. So once we get a little closer, I'll come back.
Gates.
Yeah, a lot of lock gates. Wow, you were right. It's kind of hard to even see what you're doing back here. Okay, Latrell, we kind of made it to the point where we can't go any farther. What's happening now? What do we do now?
Well, we'll walk the rest of the way in.
Yeah.
And
so we got to go through this gate here.
yeah, we'll go through this gate and we'll walk another probably half a mile in, and the creek will be on our right, and we'll go down into the creek, go across and see the Four Corners. We'll see the old Johnny Moat
entrance
where he
Right.
built for the concert and the thing, the reunion, whatever that was. And the tree is down, the carving tree, so we'll go back and look at it too.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, Latrell, what's going on now? Where are we at?
Okay. Over here, we're gonna head to the creek and go across where they started taking everybody out of here. And then you'll see the Four Corners where all the property lines came together.
Okay.
We may not go in the exact
Place where,
places we
yeah.
went through. We'll
But
find
this is the creek, though.
This is the creek.
Is it? Can you see it from here?
Yeah. Probably just extremely steep right here.
Oh, yeah, okay. So that is the infamous creek where they had to carry everybody through there.
If you film right there, there's the lattice work and the...
Oh, that's the entrance there,
Yeah.
okay. All right, cool. Okay, here we are at the creek. I'm gonna follow you, Latrell.
Okay.
Okay, what we got here, Latrell?
This is actually the area where they refer to the Four Corners.
Uh-huh.
The 4 different properties that are here. That would be the Moat Farm, and then another property I'm not sure who the owner was at the time. And then that's the property that was the timber property, and then the Easley property.
And we just came from that direction is where the creek was, so okay, we're gonna continue on. Okay.
The water level here is about what it would have looked like probably that night.
Yeah, that looks pretty deep right there.
And
So that's about what it looked like when Artemis jumped in the middle of the creek and said, "It's only waist deep there, Kenny." Cool. Okay, what's that up there, Latrell?
this is the carving tree. It's been down since Ida, the hurricane came through and took care of it.
So, before the hurricane hit, was it a live tree? What kind of tree is it?
Yeah, it's a tree where everybody had come through and carved.
Is it a poplar?
I think they were it was a beech tree.
Beech tree? Wow, that's a huge tree. Look at the root ball on it. So all the carving, I guess, the bark has been removed from as much as they could get out of it. But that's the tree, big tree. Okay, Latrell, are we there?
We're here. This is where the plane came to rest, in this area right here.
And just by looking around and taking a look at where we're at, in your opinion, where would you say the plane came from? What direction?
It came from this direction.
Okay.
Came in and
What direction is that? Do you know?
that's south.
That's
So it was
south?
headed back north to Macomb.
Okay, so it
It
was.
turned around, and he was trying to get to the opening just north.
So the actual fuselage and the wings and all the parts are in this area right here.
Well,
Whenever.
from here back, this is where the bulk of the fuselage came to rest, and then the other pieces that would have fallen off would have been further back.
All right. Cool. Well, these trees, some of these trees, like say that tree, that's probably not a tree that was here at that time, maybe then, huh?
Yeah, I believe that this has probably been, the timber's been cut off of this, and this is
Yeah.
all new timber, so none of this is probably here when when the plane actually crashed.
But this is the ground where the plane came to rest at. So you're looking at the Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash site right here.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep toking until then. Yeah, the Road Stony Show.